Hello there. We are underway in celebrating our first year anniversary. And if you don't already know about it, I'm hosting a raffle and giving away more than $2,000 worth in cash and prizes. So if you or a friend have access to an Apple product, you can enter to win. For the complete details, go to sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. All right, here we go with another soulful episode. This is part 2 of Called by Whales to the Center of the Soul with the very lovely and wise Trish Regan. Hello, I'm Tessa Lynn Alburn. Welcome to the Say Yes to Your Soul podcast, where we empower women to connect with their souls and shine in their business. If you are ready to embrace your brilliance, create meaningful connections, and be compensated for your specific gifts, you're in the right place. Join us as we explore inspiring stories, practical insights, unique points of view, and soulful strategies, all to help you thrive. So let's dive on into this transformative journey together. Tune in and say yes to your soul. And one thing that crosses my mind while you're sharing here is because I'm sort of similar in that my journey started when I was younger, my journey to healing, right? Yeah. But I think that now we have people who are starting later in life because they didn't have the opportunities or they weren't in a big enough crisis, thankfully, to need to start earlier. But what would you say to them? Like if somebody's just now starting their healing journey, and they might be thinking, well, I don't have, 50 years ahead of me. What advice would you give to them, Trish?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I would ask them to go to a bookstore that has spiritual books and ask their higher self to guide them to a book, because that's how I started. There's so many beautiful books written, and just look at all the titles and allow a title to jump out at them. And just pull it off.
Yes, like maybe it's flashing or it's like, yeah. That's the one I keep going back to. That's interesting. Yeah. But not from that place of intellect. I love calling in the high self for higher guidance. Than the brain can figure out.
Exactly. Yeah. Because we have the ego mind and we have the higher mind. And the higher mind, I believe, is the aspect of ourselves that is connected to source, to the source of all that is. You can call it God, consciousness, source of consciousness, whatever that is for anybody. That is what sustains me, because I believe that we are an aspect of that consciousness. So to ask that higher being, that higher self, the part of us that is connected with that, to guide us. And that's number one, to ask for guidance,
Yes. And to have that intention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then be open to perhaps finding spiritual teachers that they can resonate with and relate to, that feel good, and perhaps see what they're offering. It's about testing many different things. I went through many testings of many spiritual teachers, and the ones that really opened my heart, those are the ones that I followed. And the ones that I felt, just felt warm and fuzzy, and they had compassion, and the way they live their lives shows that they are true spiritual teachers, because there are so many out there,
Yes.
So it's really, really important to just follow what feels in resonance with you. And that is number one, I think, following your guidance.
I think what I'm going to highlight here is that's wonderful advice, and you put it very well. Where people can sometimes get tangled up and selecting somebody to work with is from that place of ego and, oh, but for example, I need to make money or I need to grow so that I can have something. Right. And then if we're coming from that level of things and we don't really get the bigger spiritual lessons. And so if we can come from that place of almost like innocence, I'm really asking you, source, universe, to show me who else I might be, right? Or take me to my next level of spiritual awareness. And what's so great about when one has jumped into that, and maybe jumped off a cliff, I don't know, it might feel like a cliff or a big chasm that one's crossing, or it might feel like little baby steps, but there's an opening rather than a contraction, and there's an intention for almost like the betterment of your soul, not the benefit or the betterment of your car or your house or your bank account or something like that. So, and what happens, right? What we know what happens is all those things then usually get better.
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up because I'm a prime example. I think really, because once you connect, if you connect with your heart and your soul and your higher power, whatever that is where joy lies. The joy is right there because you come into a center, you go into the center point. It's important to be balanced with the masculine and feminine, the light, the dark, the spiritual, the matter. All that is to be balanced. And when you're balanced in that way, that is where you find that deep calm and the high joy. And when you act from that place, everything will fall into place. When you act from the ego mind, because the ego mind always tells you, no, you have to do it this way. You're wrong. You can't do it that way. You have to follow my guidance. And that can pull us off our center. And that can be words like, oh, if I do this, I won't make enough money, or, I need to be secure. And I'm happier than I have ever been. And we have less materially than we ever have. I'll just tell you
which
that.
Is amazing. I mean, and you've had a lot, you had a home on Hawaii for years, like 24, 25 years. Yeah. You're still living on Hawaii, but you don't need all the bigness of what you had before, because you're living from your hearts and your souls. And if you wanted to create all that, I know you can, because you are a master of manifestation for sure. I've seen you create miracles, and that continues. But you really have become, you're 80, you've become this wise woman who is also beautiful and youthful and just full of so much compassion and care for people. I mean, when somebody goes out to find somebody to work with, I hope they find someone like you. I mean, hopefully I do that same thing too for my people that I work with, right? Like there is something in the magic of that love energy and the compassion energy that cannot be taught unless we hold that in ourselves. Yes. So, right, we're vibrating with it, and then there's something about being able to pass it on, and others can entrain from that.
Yeah. And, I love that you talked about the innocence, because, when I rebirthed the new light being part of myself, her name is Radiance. And what I heard from my higher self is that she's all about innocence and purity. And what that means is when we can find that center point and really make that connection to the higher power, whatever we call it, it is the innocence and purity of your true self. And that has helped me so much too, because I don't judge myself anymore. you know? And the fact that I've been willing to go deep, and I'm still doing it. I still do it, even though we heal a lot of our past traumas, it's like a spiral. They can still come back, and kind of upset us, but you just go through and clear. And the more I've done that, I have no more pain in my body. I had a chronic pain in my neck and shoulder from my years as a dental hygienist. And all of that is gone now. So I just want to encourage people to not be afraid to feel the feelings of pain or abandonment or fear, or if you've been abused as a child, to allow yourself to use whatever tools you can, whatever help you can, to keep clearing that and never stop or balk at allowing that, because then you find the innocence and purity of your really highest true self. And that's the ultimate joy. And then when you act from there and you look for a job from there, or you look for how you can serve, and your intention is to serve and also be supportive. So you're giving and receiving, that allows you to find this highest joy. And it really is also about balancing the masculine and feminine within you.
Yes, and I know that's a little bit of a question mark for some people. Like, so what's the primary concept around that you'd like people to know today?
Well, what I have discovered for myself is that and this is a truth as well, that the masculine side of me is the part of me that takes action, that fulfills action. The feminine part of me is the intuitive. And that's the part where I receive the higher wisdom from my higher self. I can attune to my higher self from my feminine. I can learn how to receive. The masculine is more the giver and the taking action. So when you're living in the balance of that, first you can, ask your higher self, listen to your higher self, follow your guidance, and then bring in the masculine to, okay, now what do I need to do? I need to make this call. I need to do this. I need to write this. I need to somehow create a way to fulfill what I've received from the feminine. So you use both of those. And, for most of my life, until pretty much I met my husband, I was working from my masculine mostly, because I really had to learn how to make it happen. I became a dental hygienist so I could make a good living. I could do this and this and that. But I had kind of neglected my feminine that I had let go of when I was 3 years old, when I realized that, my alcoholic father could not support us. So I moved into my masculine. I've got to make my life work. And then right before I met Doug, I went through a process where I rediscovered my little girl, my little feminine girl. She came to me as this goddess she had this huge dress that she didn't grow into, a goddess, and I just allowed her to come back into my heart, and I cried. It was so beautiful. And then I became much more balanced with my masculine and feminine. So that's a really important thing too.
Yes, indeed, it is. And especially in the world that has been created, it's been a little topsy-turvy, a lot more masculine than feminine. But you are a shining example of someone who has been able to bring in and balance those energies and, to show others it can be done, right? You can be successful. You can have an amazing life as a balanced person. Most of our listeners here are women, so bringing forward the feminine, that also helps them in receiving, right? Rather than just constantly the doing and the get it done and the lists and the forever structures. Structures and discipline are great. We need them, but we want them to support our feminine beings.
Yes, exactly. And, so many women now are focusing on their careers in their 20s and 30s, and so they are maybe using their masculine in more of a way, which is fine. But maybe now they want to find the balance and find the spirit and merge the spirit with the matter.
Yes, indeed. And so, Trish, you're somebody that can help them do that. And I want to make sure that you have some time here to tell our listeners how they can connect with you. And you've got a gift for them. I'd love for you to share. Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm doing coaching, helping people to learn how to age gracefully and radiantly. And then my husband and I are coaching couples. And because we're more in love than ever. We've been married for 32 years, and everything about our whole life is absolutely spectacular. So we're doing that. And so the website...
Including, well, wait a second. You haven't said a word about this. I know, like, part of it is your sensuality and your sexuality, and that part of your relationship is alive and thriving.
Unbelievable. Yes. I mean, ever since my rebirthing 3.5 years ago, when I let go of so many of the self-judgments within me, and of course the Catholic, all the thing about sex, I just let go, and I was able to now just totally express myself. And my husband is just an amazing lover. And yeah, it's just beyond anything I ever imagined. So that's a part of finding yourself and, becoming balanced and allowing all the self-judgments and the negativity to flow away. It's wonderful. So the website that you can find our coaching is trishregan.com/coaching. Very easy. I also have a blog that I have written about all of my journey, and it's trishregan.com. And then the gift that I'm offering is called the Whale Light Activation. And this was a gift that was given to me by the humpback whales when we were swimming with them in Tonga. And they told me that they would take me through this process where I use whale song, and then my own toning, which is the high frequency tones together. And the whales take the person in this process through their body to discover, are there any blocks, like in your brain, in your mind? Are there any blocks there that need to be released? Or perhaps going through into your torso. What about your heart? Is your heart closed? And then into all your organs and your extremities. We take the whales and I take you through the body one by one, and to help release the blockages there. So it's
fantastic.
A very, very powerful process.
Yes, and some of the results that people get from doing that might include things like release of anxiety, let's say. So like chronic anxiety is, a thing of the past. And what are some other things that you'd like them to know are possible?
If you have pain in your body, oftentimes it may not do it completely, but it will help you to become aware of where in your body are you holding either past emotions or judgments of yourself or false beliefs. Usually, I believe that everything shows up in our bodies. And unless we release these, they bother us for the rest of our lives, and they affect our subconscious mind. So by allowing yourself through this process with the whales to become fully present within your body and to discover what's going on in your body, where am I blocked? And you can release those blocks, and it can often heal physical maladies too. So yeah, it's very powerful.
It is. Well, thank you for having that as your free gift. We'll have the link to that in the show notes. And just briefly, why don't you share? So you said you've got your different coaching packages. You and Doug are doing a relationship coaching. And so that is for like couples who want to become closer. So just share a little bit more around that.
Yes. Well, everyone knows in a marriage, we believe that if you're in a marriage and you're dedicated to it, that you help each other to grow spiritually very much, because you understand that when your partner's upset about something, it's usually dealing with the past. Or if you're upset about something, it's usually dealing with the past. So you can look inside into each other's hearts and ask, well, what's really going on here? And then you can support each other in going through that. So you're not blaming each other for the pain. You're seeing what's the source of that pain. So what we can do is help people to discover what is really, really going on.
Yes, because it's not that easy to do that on your own in a couple, because the triggers come up, right? And it's like, I don't know what it is. It gets really frustrating. Yeah,
exactly. And, we're just anxious to tell couples the little things that we've learned about each other or what to do. One of the things that we find is so helpful in our marriage is that we appreciate each other every single day for every single thing we do for each other.
Yes.
Like if Doug does the dishes, I'll say, thank you for doing the dishes. He'll say, thank you for such a great breakfast. Just the little things, the appreciation all day long really helps.
All day long. And I've witnessed that. I've stayed at your home. I know that is happening. It's such a wonderful, juicy environment, so loving to be in. And you have a lot of practices that are really could be super helpful to couples who want to take things to the next level.
Yeah. We can also coach people who want to find their soulmate.
Yes, that's right.
Because I went through a whole process to manifest Doug in my life. It took 5 months. And I was guided to do a whole process. And then 5 weeks after I finished the process, I met my man of my dreams, my husband. So we can help people to learn what you need to do to be able to prepare yourself. Because, of course, we want to attract someone who is of the highest frequencies, who resonates with us, who's, a joyful, happy, wonderful, generous, kind person. So we have to be that ourselves too. So that's what we can do. And then to coach people how to live vibrantly. I mean, I have all kinds of things I can tell about.
You have many secrets. Yes.
I have a lot of secrets. Exercise, diet, that's, on the practical level. And I have supplements I take that I totally believe in. And I do use products for my face that I have learned how to get the least expensive parts. I mean, I have a lot of tips.
Using, for a deal. It's a real deal there that you've created. Yeah. You've got more than tips. And and I think, your offers are great. I'd love people to check those out. If you have any resonance here with Trish today, just such a beautiful soul. Check out her website, go there and sign up, do something with her. She's amazing. Wow. And I wanted to ask you, I know you've got a couple main messages that we wanted to make sure that people come away with today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say number one, if you have pains in your body or pains in your heart, you're upset, you have been, and you feel abandoned, any pains that you're having, either seek help, like therapists or energy workers, body work, that is so important. Seek help, read books, go to workshops, follow your guidance to keep seeking help. because never give up. You will find the joy. You will find it. Just never give up. Do the inner work. It's all in your body. Do the inner work to keep clearing, clearing, clearing so that you find your true self. That's the main message that I would say.
Absolutely. So it's a twofold thing. First, never give up.
Yeah.
And also that deeper listening, right? Like,
yes,
tune into your guidance and follow that, because that's never wrong.
Yes, never wrong. So even if it's scary.
Exactly.
We jumped off the cliff, sold everything, and oh my gosh, we didn't know when we moved here how we would actually make a living. We mainly followed our guidance, and then of course it just unfolded.
Step by step by step.
Step by step.
Yeah. So we can't always see how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the cruxes of a soul's journey. It's not about like a little nice, neat little ladder. Like, take these courses and you're going to graduate with a degree in such and such. It doesn't work that way. Life is not like that. And if we can open up and be that in that lotus flower, listening, watching those petals, that's going to really help us and take us to the people that will be profoundly impactful in our soul journey, right? That have been there a little bit ahead of us and that can guide us. Yeah.
And ask for help of all your spiritual guides, whatever you call God, goddess, all that is. Ask for help. Just ask. Show me the way.
Ask or shout it out. Sometimes I've had moments where I'm like, look, I need to know.
Yes, absolutely. Ask for help, really. Because I do believe we have beings of light that are just guiding us always. And we ask for help and just never give up. Keep on going. Keep your focus on the light and you will make it.
There you go. All right, Trish, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here today, for being you. I mean, I'm just so grateful that you're in my life. And I look forward to more years with you and playing on the island and in the ethers, whatever it is that we do. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much, Tessa. The work you're doing is so magnificent. I have watched you go through all of your growing and expanding, and now look what you're doing. You're helping so many people. I just honor you so much, and I really thank you so much for inviting me to this.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too. Much love, much light. Listeners, thank you for joining here today. I'm really grateful that you're here, that you're listening. You're waking up that inner you and your soul callings. And I wish you an amazing week until I see you again. Much love and much light to you as well. Bye-bye for now.
Aloha.
Aloha. All right. Thank you for joining us for this week's delicious episode. Before you jump off, I wanted to remind you to get entered in the raffle this month because I'm giving away more than $2,000 worth of prizes in both private sessions and actual cash. What are those prizes, you ask? Well, one of them is a private 75-minute soul light healing session with me. And that can be healing on various levels. It might be releasing trauma or tuning up your body or your emotions or clearing things like past lives and karma that's been, energetic debris holding you back. This session can be very helpful and sometimes have dramatic results in relationships, money, and in your health. And we're going to do that together on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you live. The second prize is a 60-minute coaching session with me, and that's also going to be on Zoom. So if you want support or clarity for your goals, like help with getting started with a project or just creating an action plan, that is going to be an amazing session. You'll be surprised at how much you come away with. The third prize is a personalized meditation that I will design especially for you. And of course, it's going to be yours to keep. So it's going to be fully personalized in terms of the content, and I will be speaking just to you so that you will be able to resonate with it and receive the maximum benefits that you want to create. Okay, now for the fun stuff, the cash. I have several cash prizes in various amounts. I've got several $50 prizes, $75 prizes, and $100 prizes. So you can see there are many opportunities to win here, and I just want to encourage you to be sure to play because you do need to play to win. All monetary prizes will be delivered through PayPal or Wise, and if you have a different currency, it'll be automatically converted for you. So as long as you have access to an Apple device, you can play. And all the instructions are available on our website at sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. That's sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. And if you need any support in completing your raffle entry, my team is ready to help you with that. You'll find their email on our webpage as well. So that's it. All the best to you, and may you say yes to your soul.